Welcome back to Coffee Chat. I have been gone forever, what feels like forever. So I took a little break from Coffee Chats this summer. I actually took a break for the entire month of July from almost everything, which was so awesome. If you ever get the opportunity to just kind of step back from things for a while and clear your mind, I highly, highly recommend it. This is something that I built into my business, I want to say like 6 years ago, and it's something I look forward to every year because I feel like I just really need that time to recharge my batteries, to get creative again, and just kind of step back from things and see them from a higher level. So I am excited to be back. I've had so many topic ideas in my mind this summer already, and Coffee Chats are going to be changing a little bit going into fall. I'm going to be rotating topics on a weekly basis. So some weeks we're going to be talking about beauty, other weeks it's going to be health and wellness. We're going to talk about personal development, relationships, all that good juicy stuff that you guys love. We're also going to be talking about style, of course. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to be releasing a new season of YouTube videos that is also going to start probably in September. We're working on a schedule and topics for that now. So I'm gonna ask a big favor of you. Could you please, if there's something that you wanna know about, a question that you have, something you wanna discuss, please let me know, leave it in the comments. I'm gonna be keeping a document, a master list of all of the topics that you guys submit. And I definitely wanna talk about the things that you wanna hear about. So today's topic's a little bit juicy, and this is something you've been asking me about for years. I've prepared Coffee Chats on it before and I've never done it for a variety of reasons. Either something else took precedence or I chickened out at the last minute. But I'm gonna talk about this today because you know I'm always willing to go there. And that's another thing that's gonna be changing about Coffee Chats is that if you thought they were real before, they're about to get really real. So you know I've talked about things like testosterone pellets and sex drive and relationship issues and therapy and all this stuff. I'm going to be talking more about that, sharing more about real life struggles because let's face it, we can all look perfect and put together on social media, but that is definitely not real life. So I'll be talking a little bit more about that and just sharing, you know, what's going on in my life. So first off, summer has flown by. I feel like we had the first part of our summer just completely overpacked. Like we had stuff going on every weekend. We went on 2 trips this year, which I'm not complaining about. It was really awesome. We did our family vacation to Mexico in June, which feels like a lifetime ago. And then Craig and I went to Greece for our 20th anniversary for 10 days. And we just did that in July. And then we had some horse shows in between. And I just felt like we didn't really get to slow down, take a breath, and enjoy the relaxed, laid-back pace of summer until about 2 weeks ago. And now all the kids are getting ready to go back to school. Our once almost empty nest is completely full again. Devin is back, our son, who graduated from college. He's back home now, which is really awesome. We're having family dinners, and Aubrey's still here. She doesn't go off to TCU until I think next week. She starts her sorority stuff. So she'll be heading out soon, but I gotta say, I've been loving having my nest back to full capacity again. So that's been really nice. And last week, for the first time, Ava said, I'm bored. So I know that we're doing something right. Summer is being done right now. We've slowed down. We're just enjoying the laid back pace of it. So I'm very happy about that. We also, what else did we do this summer? I have been working really, really hard on the jewelry business the past few weeks. That was one of the things I had kind of the downtime to really focus on, Alison and Aubrey, and get more involved in the selection of products and the design process. And it's just been a really fun experience. And Aubrey and I have really been enjoying that lately. So I'm gonna have some more news about that in the coming weeks if you guys are interested in learning more about it. I wanna take you guys behind the scenes so you can see kind of what's involved in everything with that business. So I'll be sharing a little bit more about that with you as well. But to the topic at hand, all right, so I teased it already. And if you're watching on Facebook, you already know what I'm gonna talk about. But we're gonna talk about Botox today, all right? So this is something that I've been asked about for years through DMs. Most people don't post it publicly, but they have questions. and they want to know about it. And you know, I'm always willing to try something, share my experiences. I think as a blogger, I'm a little bit more daring in that regard. I did my eyebrow tattoos, microblading last year, and told you guys all about that whole process and everything that was involved in it. I've talked to you about my hormone pellets and my experience with those. You know, I've done some YouTube videos on those too. I've talked to you about relationships. I've basically, like, no topic is off limits, but this is one that I did avoid for a while because I think that even though we do a lot of things as women to feel more confident or to put our best face forward or whatever, this is something that still has a little bit of a stigma attached to it. And I've gotten some not so nice comments about it. So I've avoided it, and I'm just gonna be honest, like, one of the gifts of getting older is that you stop caring so much about what people think and you start sharing your truth and being authentic. And this is something that I know you guys have wanted information about. And if this doesn't apply to you, then I certainly respect that too. But it's something that I do want to share about and tell you about my experience with. And we'll just rewind back to the beginning of when I first got Botox and the reasons why I did it. So I did it, I want to say, in my mid-30s for the first time. And I had won a giveaway, a raffle for like 25 units or something like that. And I was really nervous about it. I didn't want to do it. I actually sat on the gift card for a year before I even cashed it in. But I've always been a brow furrower. I have really strong muscles right here. As a matter of fact, the first lady that did my Botox was like, yeah, you have, of the people I see, yours are super strong. Like really strong forehead muscles. I'm like, yeah, my forehead's buff. But no, seriously. I had the little 11 marks between my eyes, and I had them for years. I've had them since my 20s because whenever I'm concentrating or focused, you know, my go-to expression on my face is just to like scowl. And I had a girl that I used to work with in telecom, and she would always say to me, Allison, why are you upset about something? Are you worried about something? You look angry. Well, you know, your face is always like this. What's going on? I'm like, no, that's just my default. That's my go-to. That's how I look. I look angry. Like, I have resting angry face. So, you know, I had several people through the years make comments to me about that. Are you worried about something? Are you anxious? Are you angry? And that wasn't the case. I just walked around looking like that a lot because I was always furrowing my brow. And it's something I've done since I was a kid. I have pictures one Halloween where I'm looking through my candy bag and I'm like focused on it and just furrowing my brow a lot in that picture. So I've always been really expressive with my face, and it shouldn't have come as any surprise to me that I started to get the deep lines between my eyes. So I decided to take a chance, cash in the gift certificate, go see what it was all about, and I got my first Botox experience. I wasn't blown away the first time, honestly, and I think it had a lot to do with the provider and the results that I got. That the placement wasn't the best, but I did like the fact that it did get rid of those marks, although it made my brow a little bit heavy, which I'm going to talk to you about a little bit more later because placement is so important. But anyway, I let that wear off. It lasted about 4 months. I want to say 4 to 6 months. And I didn't really think about it again until several years after that, when I decided to go back and get it done again. So I'm lucky enough to have 2 friends that own med spas, and they both do a beautiful job of Botox. And you know, one of my friends was talking to me about it again, and I told her about my first experience, and she said, well, just let me do it for you and see how you feel about it, if it's any different or whatever. And by that point, I want to say this was probably about 5 years ago, not only was I having the 11 lines between my eyes, but I was starting to see forehead lines too. So even though the first time I had it done, I only had this area treated, whenever I went back the second time, I decided to let her go ahead and do my forehead area as well. So when you get Botox done, if you haven't ever had it done before, there are certain areas of treatment. So right between your eyes is one of them, then your full forehead is another one, and you can also get it around your eyes and your crow's feet area. I think there are other places you can get it too, but those are the only ones that I can speak to, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that. So I don't want to lose my train of thought. I even made notes on this because I want to make sure that I share like all of the relevant information with you. So I'm going to pull my notes up right now. All right, so, oh yeah, okay, so I told you about my first time getting it done. And all right, yeah. So, okay, so the second time I got it done, I fell in love. Honestly, my forehead just looked so much smoother. It was like, my skin looked, it had like more glow to it. I can't even describe it, but I was just so much happier with it and felt like she had really hit the sweet spot with the right amount and getting it in the right locations. And the funny thing about it is that now, whenever I look back on pictures from, you know, 6-7 years ago, I can see that I have less lines on my forehead now than I did then. So I have sort of done preventive maintenance with Botox over the years. I try to get it at least once every 6 months. Sometimes I go longer than that because I just don't find the time to get in and get it done. And just whenever it wears off, I have less lines now than I did before. So I'm totally a walking commercial for Botox. So anyway, how long does it last? For me, it lasts anywhere from, on the short end, 2.5 months, to the long end of up to 6 months. And it varies from person to person. I am a fast metabolizer, so the more you work out, the faster you metabolize your Botox, it's gonna wear off a lot more quickly. And I noticed that some months, like I just had it done, I think in June, and it's already starting to wear off a little bit. So you can see I still have a good amount of movement, which I like. I don't go with a frozen look. I know that some women do that, but I prefer to do a more natural look and have some movement. So it just kind of softens the lines, but it doesn't completely make me look frozen. Like I can still have expressions like surprised and I can still scowl a little bit. And that's exactly how I like it. I want to have that little bit of movement there, but anyway, so mine does last on the shorter end when I don't do as many units of it too. And it lasts on the longer end if I end up doing more units than that. So I get about 50 units now, and I've been treating between my eyes, my forehead, and then I started doing my crow's feet a couple years back. And I have mixed feelings about the crow's feet, I'm gonna be honest. I asked her last time to be really, really conservative in this area of my eyes, because one of the things that can happen is you can get a little bit of a drooping effect. And I'm gonna talk to you about some of the unwanted effects too. It's not all rainbows and unicorns, but there are different ways, and placement is absolutely key. So you've gotta go to a practitioner that has lots and lots of practice, who has years of injecting experience. I don't recommend doing this on a Groupon, although there are always specials out there, but in general, I mean, this varies from region to region. You should be paying between $10 and $12 per unit for your Botox. And at $50 or 50 units, that comes out to about $500. So it is expensive. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you want a Botox fund if you want to do this. The good thing about it is that I do get discounts. I also signed up for a program. If you do Botox brand name, you can sign up for the Brilliant Distinctions program, and you earn points and you cash those in with coupons. They run specials. They do like $50 off specials. They send you emails about it. So definitely sign up for that. There are other brand names out there that do basically the same thing. They're just created by different manufacturers. So there's Dysport, there's Xeomin. I've done both of those. I don't know if it was my imagination or if it was reality, and if you guys have experience with this, please chime in and let me know, but I found that Dysport and Xeomin did not work as well for me for some reason. Botox seems to last longer, it seems to work better for me, it kicks in faster, but I've have friends who swear by the other brands and say that they work way better for them. So I think it just really depends on your body, and everybody's body's different. So yeah, so definitely choose a practitioner that's had lots of experience, who knows what she's doing or he's doing, and has done a lot of injections. The next thing is you've got to communicate. Like, if you don't want the frozen look, tell them I don't want to look frozen. If you don't want droopy eyes, tell them that. There are things that they can do with the placement. I have a spocky eyebrow, so my right eyebrow, if it's not done properly, will go like this and stick up. And one time, I didn't go in to get it fixed. The good news is you can get that fixed. And I walked around for 3 months with my eyebrows like spiking up. That was just a matter of laziness and not getting in to get it fixed. But You know, a good practitioner is going to tell you that if there's something you're not happy with, come back in, they'll fix it for free. And I've done that before because I know that my one eyebrow does something weird. So definitely communicate with them exactly what you're going for. What else? How long does it take? It usually takes about 2 weeks for it to fully kick in, especially if it's your first time. Mine does it much more quickly now, which is another reason why I like Botox. I feel like Botox kicks in more quickly for me than the other brand names. And I can usually see the full effects within a week, sometimes within a couple of days. Don't panic in those first few days because you're gonna see it kind of take at different times, and you might start to see less wrinkles on one area and more on another, and it's okay. It all just kind of takes effect and evens out, and it looks good. So don't panic about that. So I know that a lot of you may be like, this totally scared you, this whole conversation. I live in Dallas. This is a very regionally accepted thing to do here, like totally. And I understand that it might not be in your area, or you might be afraid that people are going to judge you for it. You don't want to talk to people about it. I totally get that. Like, I get judged for this. This is something that I get mean comments about. And one time on one of my videos, I said, I'm coming to you makeup free this morning. And it was one of the times where my Botox was just done. So it had half kicked in and half didn't, and my forehead was looking all wonky. I didn't want to do a video that day, but I did it anyway. And somebody commented on Facebook and said, yeah, you might be makeup free, but you're not Botox free, and that's misleading. And I responded and said, well, actually, I didn't claim to be Botox free, so it's not misleading at all. When I've been asked, I've been totally honest about it, but I have been afraid of those comments because I know that this is something that we as women tend to judge each other about. And I am not that type of person. If something makes you feel good or feel, you know, like you're going to be more confident, or, you know, when you look in the mirror, if it makes you happy, I'm not going to judge you for that. And I also want to let you know that if you have itchy fingers and want to judge me, that my team's probably going to delete the comment. We just are kind of a negativity free zone, and all about lifting other women up. So I really just want to provide you with information. And again, this is something that I've been privately asked about for years, and I know that there are many, many of you out there, far more, who want this information and want to know about it. So that's why I decided to do it today. But if you're not ready for Botox, or if it scares you, you do not have to start there. You can start smaller. There are other options out there to improve the look of fine lines and wrinkles. You can do things like microdermabrasion, or something even smaller than that, like exfoliation. I sent out an email yesterday about my makeup course. And one of the things that I talk about in the skincare module is how important it is to exfoliate. It's such a simple step. And it's something, especially if you're over 40, but honestly, collagen production starts to slow down when you're in your 30s. So anyone over 30 can absolutely benefit from exfoliating at least once a week. I've been trying to up my game on that and do it 2 to 3 times a week now, because the cell turnover is so much slower, especially in the summer months. I feel like, you know, I've been out in the sun a lot, and I've been doing, and my skin's been drier, and it's hard when you're swimming and doing all these things, and you get all of those dead skin cells on your face, and exfoliation is just a great way to brighten up your skin, and also minimizes the look of fine lines as well. So anyway, again, I would love your feedback on ideas for upcoming coffee chats. I loved being able to cover this topic today, and if there's anything else you want to know about, like, I'm your guinea pig. I will go and try it out. Most things, like, I'm not going to do skydiving, and I'm not going to do bungee jumping. Those are off limits. I'm scared to death, terrified of heights. So those things won't be happening, but pretty much anything else you ask, and I will let you know if A, I've already tried it and what my experience has been, and B, if it's not too outlandish, I might try it myself and do a coffee chat about it. So please let me know what you want to know about it. If you don't feel comfortable leaving it in the comments, then definitely send me a DM and let me know. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in this week. I am so excited to be back for another season of Coffee Chats, and I hope that your summer is going well. I've enjoyed spending my Friday with you, and I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. I'll see you back here next Friday. Bye.